Once upon a time, high above the village of Stonebrook, a small cloud named Nimbus floated quietly. While other clouds raced the wind or rumbled with thunder, Nimbus dreamed of colors. He wished he could paint the sky. One day, Nimbus decided he'd had enough of just floating around. He wanted to do something more. So he drifted closer to the sun and called out, "I wish I could do more than float. I want to paint." The sun smiled down at the little cloud and asked, "Why not? Every evening I give you colors. Just follow me." That evening, as the sun began to set, Nimbus drifted across the sky. With every swirl, pinks, oranges, and purples followed him. The villagers looked up in awe. "Look, the sky is painted," said a child. "What a beautiful sunset," said her parent. Nimbus beamed with pride. Finally, he was doing something special. But as he painted more sunsets, he started to feel lonely. All the other clouds were white and puffy like him. They loved to float around and play tag in the wind. They thought Nimbus was silly for painting. "Why are you trying to be different, Nimbus?" asked one cloud. "You're just a cloud." "I may be just a cloud," replied Nimbus, "but I believe I can be more." With that, he went back to painting the most beautiful sunsets every night. One evening, some birds flew past. "Hey, Nimbus," they cried. "Can you make the sky red and yellow? Our feathers will match." And with a flick of his tail, he did. The birds danced in the sky, dipping and diving in the colors. Below, the children waved. "We're waiting, we're waiting," they chanted. Each evening they wait for Nimbus to begin his swirls. They loved the game of chasing the colors. One evening, a family stood watching the sky turn orange and pink. "Thank you, little cloud," said the mother. "You've made my child very happy." All the clouds watched Nimbus paint the sky. They still didn't understand why he wanted to be different, but they saw how much joy he brought to the people below. Maybe being different wasn't so bad after all. Each evening, Nimbus painted again, making the sunsets even more magical. He swirled and twirled, and each time the villagers gasped in delight. Sometimes the sky would turn green and blue, sometimes red and purple. But no matter what color Nimbus chose, the villagers loved it. One evening, a wise old man stood watching the sky. When the colors faded, he turned to the others. "We call it the Nimbus sky now," he said. From that day on, the villagers told stories about the little cloud who painted the sky. No one knew where Nimbus had come from or why he wanted to paint. It didn't matter. He became a hero to the villagers. One day, a terrible storm swept across the land. The wind roared and the rain poured. The villagers huddled inside their homes and waited for it to pass. Suddenly, there was a flash of lightning and a clap of thunder. The other clouds rumbled and shook the sky. For the first time, they were powerful and strong. As the storm raged, Nimbus watched sadly from the window. He wanted to help, but all he could do was paint. Then he had an idea. He drifted outside and took a deep breath. As the sun peeked through the clouds, he began to swirl. At first, the colors were faint, but then the sky turned a brilliant rainbow. A double rainbow arched across the sky. The villagers gasped in delight. It was a perfect distraction from the storm. Parents held their children close and smiled. Even the old man looked up in wonder. When the storm passed, the sun shone brightly. Nimbus painted a beautiful sky full of pinks and purples. The villagers came outside to thank him. "You saved us," they cried. "You made us smile when we were scared," Nimbus blushed. He hadn't meant to save them, but he was glad he had. Now they really understood how special he was. As the years passed, Nimbus continued to paint the sky. He painted for the children at sunset and the lovers who dreamed of faraway lands and the old man who remembered when the sky was just white. He painted for everyone. One day, Nimbus noticed a new family in town. They had pale skin and strange clothes. The parents didn't look up at the sky, and the children seemed bored. After the sky turned orange and pink, Nimbus drifted over to them. "Why aren't you looking at the sky?" he asked. A girl looked up and smiled. "This isn't our sky," she said. "Our sky is filled with stars." Nimbus frowned. He had never seen stars. "Can I see them?" The girl nodded. "If you paint the sky black, you can see the brightest star of all." Together, Nimbus and the girl painted the sky inky black. At first, it was hard. Nimbus kept choosing the wrong colors, but finally he got it just right. Then he stepped back and gasped. Thousands and thousands of stars glittered above him. The brightest one twinkled, and Nimbus felt a warm feeling inside. The girl smiled. "That's the star of wishes," she said. "Make a wish and it will come true." Nimbus thought for a moment. He had everything he could ever want, but he wanted to help more people. "I wish I could bring color to everyone's sky," he said. As soon as he finished his sentence, the star flashed. Then Nimbus felt something strange. He was getting bigger. The sky was getting smaller. Soon he was the size of a house. Below him, the villagers pointed and gasped. Nimbus floated down slowly and landed with a soft thud. The girl ran over and climbed onto his back. "Hold on tight," she said. "We have to go fast." Nimbus and girl zoomed over mountains and valleys, over rivers and fields, over cities big and small. Everywhere they went, Nimbus brought color to gray skies. In some places, people cheered. In others, they were scared. Finally, they reached a huge city made of gray concrete. The buildings were tall and the streets were dirty. The people hurried along, not even looking up. "This is the gloomiest place of all," said the girl. "But if we can bring color here, we'll have done it." Nimbus took a deep breath and began to paint. The buildings turned yellow and green. Pinks and purples covered the streets. The people stopped and stared in amazement. A little boy looked up at Nimbus and smiled. "It's beautiful," he whispered. The girl beamed. "See? I told you they'd love it." Together, Nimbus and the girl painted the gloomiest sky of all. They painted until it was light and airy, until it was full of hope and dreams. As the last stroke faded away, the people cheered. "Look, the sky is painted," they cried. The girl and Nimbus smiled at each other. They had brought color to the world, and that was the best feeling of all. Then suddenly, Nimbus felt a familiar tug. He was getting smaller. The sky was getting bigger. In a few moments, he was back to his normal size. The girl waved goodbye. "Thank you for showing me the most beautiful sky of all," she said. "And remember, the star of wishes is always watching." Nimbus watched them go and smiled. He didn't need a star to make wishes. He had everything he wanted right here, right now. He had the sky. And so, Nimbus painted the skies every evening, reminding everyone that gifts come in all shapes, colors, and clouds. Everyone has a special gift. Find yours and share it.